Hey, what's up? D&D, Edge Team, Big Think AI. Quick context. Today was my first meeting as the Edge Team leader for the D&D team. More context, Big Think AI, big AIC organization, biggest one at UMD. We have two divisions. One is to lead workshops to make AI more accessible. The other is project-based teams, which I now lead two of. One is behind an NDA, so I can't talk too much about it. I love saying that. And the other is D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. So today was the first team meeting. Very exciting because I think Dungeons and Dragons is really cool. I would love to play it more. Um, I've had like I'm getting more technical experience being a project manager, so that's very cool. I'm trying to like take that experience from previous groups, non-technical or technical, and bring it here to be the best leader I can be. And saying that I think I did a really good job. Not even to toot my own home, but I think it was like thank God honestly because it was a really great meeting. Um, I did a previous video about this a while back, but I think I took all my lessons in terms of just being able to set clear expectations. I remember at the start of the meeting, um, I was midway into the meeting or midway into the introduction. I was like, "Hey, these are my expectations. We're gonna have a MVP by the end of April. We're gonna have test users by the mid May, start of May. Saying clear expectations like that. I also like kind of use the S curve. S curve is more so for innovation, right? To like show how innovation gets done for a product or a technology. But I more so used it for us because with projects like this, especially with university projects, a lot of the times you're not really doing anything initially innovative, right? A lot of the stuff you've done has been done by a bunch of people, and we find to a point that almost feels redundant to attempt it. Yet, not even yet. As such, a lot of the early work you should do should be early wins. It shouldn't be something where it takes like a month or 2 months because someone's already built this out. Right? So someone's built it out, and you have agentic coding skills, or you have like your brain and everything. Like then those early stages of the project should be fairly quick wins for you. And I think with a lot of projects I've been in, we've made the mistake of making stuff more technical. So not more technical, more complex than they should be. Right. So it's something where you lose a lot of time because like it shouldn't take a week to get certain it shouldn't take a week to implement like a minimum version of a feature that's already been done and you can see a bunch of examples of. So I made that very clear. But even before that, what I did, I had two new icebreakers I've never done before. One was if you had a clone for 35 years and then it disappeared or just vanished and there was no emotional attachment, what would you have them work on? That was really great, which is gauge career interested and what they're interested in. It's kind of like a bit diverse. Some people are interested in hedge funds, some people in like I guess AGI, some people in other things. The other one was which one I can't speak. The other one, which I like more, was if you could intern with any anime team for your career, which one would you be? Which one would it be? Right. That one's just because it's fun, but also I think, as D&D is a very nerdy game. Like this is like the most nerdy project I've worked on in a while. I do think it's important that everyone's comfortable just like nerding out and just like being very blunt and kind of breaking the ice there. 'Cause I think it's a great way to see everyone's interest. Not everyone watches anime. It's like if you didn't watch an anime, you could just like you could say a fictional show. I think someone said Pokemon, which is weird because it is an anime, so I don't know why. Point is, Graris Bakers, I also think I was really good at like managing the flow of the meeting. I had a clear agenda. I came a bit early because I thought it was at 4, but it's actually at 4:30. So with the 30 minutes I had, I just made a quick slideshow on Canva, which I love. Canva is actually the best. So I think that was easy to maintain a flow. I also more context I should probably provided. This is the second edition of this team. So the first edition was in the previous semester with a whole different set of people, but two people from the previous team returned to this team. So I wanted to extract the most insight from them without having their insight become a burden to the visions of newcomers. Because if you just slowly if the newcomers and this is their first time with this team, just say like, oh, what's been done before? Newton's first law, they will just go with the flow, right? I think I had to. It was a very dicey thing because like you don't want to just like shut people off. You also don't want to miss out on crucial information on what's been done. But I do think I managed it pretty well because at the start I said I made it very clear. They were from the previous team. I also made it very clear to get an idea of what's been built, why they did certain stuff. But also when it came to like the brainstorming stage of the meeting, I made it I said that we're going to do a round robin where like everyone has to go and share the ideas if you don't have anything from the get-go. This speed random like I made sure like they were kind of like the last, like even though we're in a circle and one was like midway and one was at the end, I kind of made sure that like no one could interrupt or no one could like share, no one could even ask the other person. Like you have to have your own unique idea. So I think that was really helpful because like I know certain people, I suspect certain people like would be more inclined to say, "Oh, I'm just gonna fall in line with what someone else is gonna say." So I did make it clear, and I think was able it actually made the meeting more interesting because initially when it came to me, I thought it was gonna be a short meeting with just introductions. But then as more and more people talked, we started to realize that a big challenge we're gonna face was kind of like in the UI. Because at first we're thinking, oh, the DM, the dungeon master, and then being able to feed all the context from NPCs to situations to multiple players. That's probably going to be the biggest challenge. But then we're talking about the UI and the interface because Dungeons and Dragons very imaginative game, right? So you have to want, and it's also a game with where context matters, like the positioning of people matters. So if I have Luffy in front of me and I shoot a laser, oh, that's not good. I shoot a laser, it hits Luffy, right? So stuff like that matters. So we're wondering how could you have a situation where you're able to display that information in a funny, unique way, and you don't want to just do a text interface because like that just comes off as chat GPT and doesn't come off as very immersive. So that was where a lot of time was that was where a lot of time was spent. And I think a lot of people had unique ideas on what that should look like. Because some people had never played D&D, some people had played it way more, and some people had like some loose experience with it. So everyone had a different idea and different background in terms of what they imagined an immersive UI would be. And it really did help a lot. So I think that decision on my end was really good. I also think the members of the team are really great. A lot of them are passionate about it. Two people who came back really, really do seem to really love this project. I think the new people definitely do seem to be interested in the technical challenge of it. So that's gonna be something I'm really happy to let them dig into. Um, But yeah, I don't even know. I think it's cool. I would love to dig into more of the UI problem because it is an interesting problem. Because, like I said, imagine native immersive games. So we're talking about like, oh, how do you maybe you do like a 3D interface, or you maybe do like Gaussian splats to kind of like have some level of fidelity, and you could just kind of have like 3D objects or 3D chess pieces representing the player and their team, or something like that. And maybe you could do like animations, however you want to do it. So we're exploring that, but something I really do want to talk about before I end this video is there was a really cool moment where we're imagining the UI, right? Like what it should look like. And then to show the idea, someone just vibe coded an app real quick to show the idea. I think that was really interesting to me because before how this would work in the meeting is you go on the whiteboard and you draw out the idea. But like we've reached such a stage where these coding agents are so good that coding almost feels like drawing on the whiteboard. Like you could quickly brain like coding is not like brainstorming, right? And that's not something I imagine it used to be. Like even though I wasn't working on teams like this in high school, it was like you just couldn't do that because it'll take more time and you have to figure out like, oh, what libraries to import and everything like that. But like now it's just like, yeah, I want to show you guys a quick example. Even though it's not going to be production ready, right? It's gonna like clearly convey the idea. I think I don't know, I think it's very cool. I think it's gonna be awesome to see. I do think that's something I would love to look into more is the kind of how coding, like I said, is becoming more of like drawing in a sense, where it's like, okay, if I have an idea, it's much easier to put the idea to paper or a whiteboard or a tablet. Now, like it is with coding now, because I can just say, hey, do this, change the UI, change the colors and everything like that. So that's gonna be really interesting in terms of what we're able to convey and maybe even teach. Like how can you use agentic coding tools in teaching, right? Maybe you could, if you want to quickly display like a lesson or something like that, maybe you could just say, hey, Claude, do this for me, and then you can have everyone pull it on their laptop, pull it up on their laptop. But yeah, interesting times, interesting project, interesting people, and great lessons for me. Great milestone as well. But besides that, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.